Well, good evening, fans. Welcome back to the channel. So let me see. YouTube analytics. What can I talk about today that my viewers want to see? I see cryptocurrency, Shiba Inu coin. So that's what we'll discuss today. I haven't actually talked about crypto since my very first video on this channel 10 months ago to the day. Exactly 10 months ago, because today is July 12th. So, wow, I've been at this for 10 months. Shocking, I know. Haven't gotten any better, right? In some cases I have. I actually, from my first video to now, the very first video I did on crypto, first video I did ever, I was talking about SafeMoon, something I was into at the time. And the video quality is actually horrible. I'm in front of my TV and everything's really dark. And what I'll do when I hit my 1-year anniversary as a YouTuber, I'll go back into that in the same setting, same backdrop, and just to commemorate that time, just to see how far this channel's come in a year. So that's only 2 months away. But for today, I want to discuss Shiba Inu. So I'm going to discuss as much as I know about this. I'm in a few cryptocurrencies myself. This year, as I talk about the most on this channel, I talk about dividends, the market, the economy, the state of things. And in this 2022 market, nothing is immune, including cryptocurrency. So pretty much every cryptocurrency known to mankind has crashed this year, including Shiba Inu. So Shiba kind of started as a spin-off of Dogecoin. It kind of stole the thunder of Dogecoin last May, being May 2021. I know that seems like a long time ago now. But the Shiba is like the dog that's in the Dogecoin. So it kind of stole its thunder. But let's just go through, and I'm going to go over some content that's been in the news. And I'm also going to provide my opinion on what I think is coming, because most of the viewers that watch this are going to want to see what I have to say, because anybody can just go and read articles, right? But anyway, let's look at the price overall. So if you just look at this chart here, even if you are not that familiar with charts, you can see there was a peak in the price on the chart here for Shiba Inu. October 27th, it hit 0.000081. Even factoring out the peak, you can see that this is actually up 42% still since last August. So year over year, almost a year. Actually, if we go back to July 14th, we were at, and this is something I covered in my very first video when I talked about SafeMoon. This started actually with Bitcoin when it was like so many zeros away from 1 cent. If you think about it, if this were to just get to 1 cent, I don't want to say per share, like a stock, I don't even actually know what you call it, per coin, I guess. So if this were to get to just 1 cent, then it would be a huge gain. And that was the key takeaway from the first video I did on SafeMoon. I still actually have that spreadsheet saved. And I'll go over that when I cover that again. But I guess I'm going to start doing some cryptocurrency videos because part of the audience wants to see that according to the analytics. So notwithstanding the run up that we saw, which was significant, there was a run up and then a subsequent crash, of course. And it's been kind of on a downward trend for most of this year. But like I said, it's still up 42% year over year. And if we go back to when this coin first started back in 2020, so this is about 2 years old at this point, we've dropped several zeros. And that's a key concept in investments like this, dropping a zero. So we had, let's see, 3, 6, 9, we had like 9 zeros, if I'm reading that correctly. And then we went down to 4. So we dropped 5 zeros. So that's awesome. I was just talking in my video yesterday about if you have like a 0% rate of return, you're a genius in this market. Well, in this case, if you're dropping zeros, you're a genius. So different concepts apply to different investments. And crypto is something that I'll confess I'm not an expert on. I've gotten into a few of them. I have a Coinbase portfolio that I really don't even look at. But this coin is up 308,000% since it first started, dropping 5 zeros. And that's the concept that you want to take away on something like this. I'm not saying this may be a great investment. I mean, truly, I have no idea. I don't have Shiba. I have some Dogecoin. I got caught up in that whole mayhem with that, like when Elon Musk went on SNL. So I have some of that, but of course that's in the tank too. So I haven't touched crypto probably since last summer, before I became a YouTuber. So the market cap on this is 5.5 billion. Here's trading volume over 24 hours, circulating supply, typical hold time. And the way crypto was performing last year, there was a growing school of thought that crypto could eventually start replacing mainstream currencies. And I think in this market, that theory has kind of been blown out of the water. I mean, there's books. There's actually a book I read. There's one called Thank God for Bitcoin, theorizing how it can replace the dollar. And there's another one called the Bitcoin Standard, which I started reading, but I haven't finished yet, theorizing that these types of currencies could eventually replace mainstream currencies that governments use. And I'm not sold one way or the other. I think the jury's definitely still out on this, but I think crypto in general is something that we're going to be contending with, and that's going to be in our world for a very long time. NFTs are another story. Never done a video on NFTs, but pictures of an ape is not something that is my ideal investment. If I'm going to have a picture of something, I'd rather have like nice artwork. But with that being said, now let me go to a couple of other things I pulled up here. This is the actual Shiba token website. And it tells you about the project, about the coin. I'm not going to read too much off of this. Uniswap is one of the exchanges you can use to buy this on. It also works on Coinbase too. Coinbase is another topic in my analytics that shows a high degree of viewer search. So I'll probably talk somewhat about that in this video, because Coinbase is actually what I use. I'm not sponsored by them, but I use Coinbase for my crypto purchases that I haven't made in almost a year. Actually, I think it's been almost a year since I bought any. I think I actually bought some Uniswap, and there was another one that I bought that was actually Chainlink. Chainlink was actually doing very well. I should have sold it when I had the chance, but you know, these things, you think they're just going to keep going. But I think, particularly with this, again, like I said earlier, the market that we're seeing in 2022, nothing has been immune. And that includes stocks, index funds, obviously options trading, crypto, NFTs. Everything's just been crushed. So there's nothing necessarily in the investing world that's like inversely related, unless you're invested in like a bi-directional ETF, or you know, a leveraged ETF that's going to perform like in a short position, where while the market's going up, or while the market's going down, it goes up, something like that. But really, the truth is there seems to be nothing immune in this market. So my opinion, which most people watching this are waiting for, my opinion, the jury's still out on crypto. And this was a good article here from time.com about the future of crypto, 5 experts' predictions after a breakthrough 2021. And 2021 definitely was a phenomenal year. And one little nugget of information about Bitcoin, like if I had bought Bitcoin when I first heard of it, I'd be insanely rich at the current prices even. I mean, because I think it's below 20,000 at this point. But if I had bought it when I first heard of it and it was like less than 1 cent, I mean, that would still, at the current prices today, have made me insanely rich. So I think that, like I said in my video yesterday, speculative investments are okay for maybe 5% of your portfolio. So it doesn't hurt to take a shot at these. I think once things kind of go back to normal, which I know we've been waiting for since the pandemic ended, but we're still, I don't know, the prior normal may never be, we may never quite be back to that. But I still think crypto does have a future. I mean, you look at everything using the blockchain, which I'm actually doing some research on that now. You look at everything that's using the blockchain, and I don't see these technologies going anywhere. It's very useful, tracking stuff, tracking spending. things like historical artifacts, artwork, high dollar items that are hard to trace from their origin and actually validate. I think there's incredible use cases for that. So I don't see any of this going anywhere. And I think that at some point it will recover. But some of these are scams. I mean, make no mistake about it. Like some of these, especially in the froth of 2021 with the market run up, or the last year of the market run up, so to speak, there was a lot of scammy cryptos coming out with, and even Dogecoin. If you listen to one of the late night talk show hosts, like they said, like 5 years ago, it started out as a joke. So, I mean, there wasn't really much. And then you have celebrities pumping it. And in that case, if you're going to get in something like that, I guess you want to get in when you first hear about it and then get out before it's going to crash, because you don't really know what it's going to do. But let's go through some key points in this article here real quick. So the first kind of prediction that this market or this article makes, cryptocurrency regulation. That's definitely something that is coming, that I believe is coming. And I think that will make a difference when it comes to cryptos, when it comes to stability in the market for crypto. So this says, expect continued conversations about cryptocurrency regulation. US officials have shown a particular interest in stablecoin regulation, and the Fed could even create their own coin, who knows? Lawmakers in DC and across the world are trying to figure out how to establish laws and guidelines to make cryptocurrency safer for investors and less appealing to cyber criminals. And I think all of that would be good and welcome overall. Fed Chair Papa Powell said recently he has no intention of banning cryptocurrency like Ethereum in the US, and I'll do another video on Ethereum, while SEC Commission Chairman consistently commented on both his own agencies and the commodity CFTC's role in policing the industry. And then point number 2, what new regulation could mean for investors. The 1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill signed in November includes crypto tax reporting provision. So yeah, this will all come under additional scrutiny for tax purposes and whatnot. Crypto ETF approval. Now this one could be very interesting. There's already been a major breakthrough on this front, with the first Bitcoin ETF making its debut on the New York Stock Exchange last October. The development represents a new and more conventional way to invest in crypto. The BITO Bitcoin ETF allows investors to buy in on cryptocurrency directly from traditional investment brokerages they may already have accounts with, like Fidelity or Vanguard. That will certainly, I think, be a good thing overall. Let's just, for fun, let's look this up, this BITO. I do vaguely remember this going public. Oh, there's our boy Elon in the news again. Twitter sues Musk for trying to abandon $44 billion deal. I was going to do another video on Elon Musk. He's kind of disappointed me lately. I used to really like what he was saying, but his comments about working from home and coming back to the office, I just thought was just really a dick move on his part, and kind of ticked me off, because I'm somebody that thinks working from home is fine, and I think that society is shifting towards that. But he's kind of been full of crap here lately, so kind of disappointing. But anyway, let's look up this Bitcoin ETF here. BITO, here it is, BITO. ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF. Even though this video is about Shiba Inu, we're talking about crypto overall. So let me just check this and see, because it's really been a while since I've even really followed crypto that close, but definitely there was a lot more buzz around this last year. Look at that year-to-date total return, minus 53%. So since inception, this has actually 4x'd to the downside, which is no bueno. Yeah, that's no fun. Even since March, it was almost $30. Now it's dropped to $11.95. So, wow. At least an ETF is kind of like an index fund, so it's more safe. If I was to get in, I don't know if I'd necessarily do a lot in an individual like a Shiba Inu, but or even Bitcoin. I might do the ETF like this because it's indexed for that. I think that's safer. It's kind of the whole idea behind index funds. You participate in the whole index instead of just one thing. But anyway, back to this article. So crypto ETFs, we talked about that. What a crypto ETF means for investors. It's too soon to tell how many investors will get in on BITO. The fund did see lots of trading actions first weeks. more accessible cryptocurrency assets are within traditional investment products. More Americans could buy in and influence the crypto market, so on and so forth. And then broader institutional cryptocurrency adoption. I do think that's going to continue as well. Mainstream companies across multiple industries took interest and in some cases themselves invested in cryptocurrency and blockchain in 2021. AMC, a lot of people's favorite, even though that's been old news for quite a while. AMC had its short squeeze well over a year ago, but it's still talked about quite a bit. But AMC, for example, recently announced it will be able to accept Bitcoin payments by the end of this year. Fintech companies like PayPal and Square, now Block, will be able to, let's see, they're also betting on crypto by allowing users to buy on their platforms. Tesla continues to go back and forth on acceptance of Bitcoin payments, though the company holds billions in crypto assets. Experts predict more and more of this buy-in. So what more institutional adoption means for investors? While paying for things in cryptocurrencies doesn't make sense for most people right now, more retailers accepting payments might change the landscape in the future. And this is something just like electric cars. I think that last year, these trends were moving faster than they maybe are now. I think the state of affairs this year has slowed these trends. So I think we're going to see more like, in a way, cryptocurrency is going to follow like the electric car phenomenon. Like we're going to continue seeing adoption of it, but the buzz isn't around it as much as it was last year. And especially like with electric cars, as gas prices come down, we're going to see a lot less adoption. I mean, it won't be totally like where it's dropping, but it's like the product life cycle. You see it go up, but it'll increase at a slower pace as it's phased in. Not faster, but as something becomes phased in to a greater extent, the curve starts to become less and less steep, it kind of plateaus. And that's kind of somewhat what we've seen on a smaller level this year. So let's see, this will likely be much longer before it'll be a smart financial decision to spend Bitcoin on goods or services. I agree, but future institutional adoption could bring about more use cases for everyday users and in turn have impact on crypto prices. So it's going to take some time. I don't think crypto is really going to do much this year. I think we're going to have to wait till 2023 or 2024 to actually see what's going to happen. But again, if you're going to do something like this, again, not advice, just my opinion, you want to probably do that within your 5% allocation on the pie chart, the 5% towards speculative, because I look at crypto at this point, not as the future replacement of the dollar, but I look at it as highly speculative. And I think that's evidenced by the performance this year. So Bitcoin's future outlook, and the reason I'm talking about Bitcoin so much is because Shiba and other cryptos are going to follow a similar, there's going to be some correlation to what Bitcoin does because these are all cryptocurrencies. Like I have to clarify, even though I'm not an expert, a lot of people ask me, well, Bitcoin, they get the terminology mixed up. Remember, Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, like Shiba Inu is a cryptocurrency, just like the dollar is a currency. So it's not like the dollar versus the currency. It's like one is a class of the other. So anyway, Bitcoin, just like I said here, Bitcoin is a good indicator of the crypto market in general because it's the largest cryptocurrency by market cap and the rest of the market tends to follow its trends. Wow, just like what I just said. And I didn't even read that in advance. Bitcoin's price had a wild ride in 2021. November set another new all-time price high when it went over 68,000. And that's incredible. Like I keep saying, it's amazing how profoundly things have changed since November. It seemed like everything peaked in November. November would have been a great time to just sell everything in hindsight. But unfortunately, we don't have the gift of hindsight beforehand. The latest record high follows previous high points of over 60,000 in April and October, as well as a summer drop to less than 30,000 in July. Volatility is a big part of why experts recommend keeping your crypto investments less than 5% up. Who does that sound like? Again, and I didn't read this in advance. How high will Bitcoin go? Yeah, they've been predicting 100,000 for a while, but we're getting further and further away from that as this year goes on, this awesome year 2022. And then let's see what Bitcoin price volatility means for investors. Bitcoin's volatility is more reason for investors to play a steady long game. I agree. If you're buying for long-term growth potential, Don't worry about short-term swings. The best thing you can do is not look at your cryptocurrency investment, which I quit looking at it over 6 months ago. I only look at stuff when it's up. When it's down, I just completely, I'm almost blind to it. I don't even look at it. It's just not fun. It's just depressing, you know. So let's see. Set it and forget it, as experts continue to tell us. Each time there's a price swing, whether up or down. And then the future of cryptocurrency. We can speculate on what value cryptocurrency may have for investors in the coming months and years, and many will. But the reality is it's still a new and speculative investment. Agreed. Without much history on which to base predictions. No matter what a given expert thinks or says, no one really knows. And that's the key takeaway. No one really knows, including me, including whatever talking head you listen to, including whatever YouTuber you listen to. No one really knows. And that's the bottom line. If you were to wake up one morning and find that crypto has been banned by the developed nations and it becomes worthless, would you be okay? Interesting prospect. Keep your investment small. Never put crypto investments above any other financial goals like saving for retirement, paying off high interest debt. I agree 100%. You don't want to YOLO your money. You know, you don't want to be too risky. I would keep it within that 5%, like what I do. Options, speculative, 5%, no more than 5%. And let's just end the video on looking at the price of Bitcoin. Because I really, like I said, I haven't followed crypto nearly as much this year. All right, Bitcoin. Yeah, it's below 20,000, just like I thought. So if you enjoyed that, hopefully that was as good as I could make it right now without studying crypto every day. Hope you enjoyed that. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and keep an eye out for my next videos. I'm going to try to start churning them out more often. Thanks so much for watching, and take care.